What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over KSI versus Austin Mcbroom. Now, this is a fight that seems like it is on the horizon. I think that this fight is probably going to happen unless the scam that Austin Mcbroom pulled off gets called out and he gets arrested or something like that, or he just gets completely obliterated by the internet, which I don't think it's going to happen. I think that he's going to get away with, not paying the fighters. But let's go over who would win in a boxing match versus KSI and Austin Mcbroom. So, first off, let's just go over the height and weight. So, they're actually pretty similar in terms of height and weight and overall size. They're about the same size, actually. When it comes to reach, Austin McBroom might have a longer reach, but when I say might, I'm guessing like maybe 1 inch, 2 inches on the reach. He might be 1 inch or 2 inches, maybe taller than KSI, but his hair definitely adds like 3 inches to his height, so I actually don't know about that one. But they're roughly the same weight and they're roughly the same size overall. So it's on paper, it seems like it would be a pretty good matchup. And actually, I think that it would be a good matchup regardless because Austin McBroom just knocked out Bryce Hall. He did it in a pretty spectacular fashion, but let's be honest, Bryce Hall really has absolutely no technique, no power. He doesn't know what he's doing. He hasn't been in 40 street fights, and he is definitely not a fighter, and nor did he claim to be, as he said in his post-fight interview in the ring. So, Bryce Hall, not a fighter at all. Beating him up, I mean, I could beat him up. I could have beaten him up when I was like 10 years old. So beating up Bryce Hall, not impressive at all. I mean, he's got absolutely no talent, no skill, doesn't know what he's doing. Anybody could beat up Bryce Hall, so it's not impressive, but Austin McBroom is the one who did it, so his stock has gone up. And KSI's stock is obviously already up because he's he's the guy who beat Logan Paul, and that was the biggest YouTuber boxing match by quite a bit. I mean, it still is. It's so much bigger than every other YouTuber boxing match that's ever happened. Is the KSI versus Logan Paul fights, both one and two, two especially being the bigger one. I mean, there were guys like Justin Bieber that were at that boxing match, and I mean, there were A-list celebrities at that boxing match showing up. It was a big match and it was a big deal, and KSI is the one who came out on top, so his stock is up practically, for at least the next like 5 years. He doesn't need to do anything and his stock is up the entire time just for that. So in terms of, who's in the fight game right now in terms of like the influencer fight game, obviously they're not going to go up against real boxers because they would get obliterated, but when it comes to the influencer YouTuber boxing matches, KSI, Austin McBroom, and Logan Paul, and of course Jake Paul. Jake Paul probably being at the top of the list. But those four guys are all the biggest ones right now. KSI already beat Logan, and I honestly don't think that he's quite ready for Jake Paul yet because Jake Paul has just been completely obsessed with it for the past 3, 4 years now, however long he's been doing it. And so I think the next biggest guy besides Jake Paul is Austin McBroom. So I think this fight is going to happen. KSI has been out of it for a little while. I think he needs a fight to warm him back up to it, get him back in the game. And I think Austin McBroom is a good opponent for him, not only because of him being the biggest, name in the YouTuber boxing game besides Jake Paul, of course, but because they're also, pretty similar sizes and it seems like a good matchup. Even regardless of their status, it still seems like a good matchup. And now that being said, let's get into who I think is going to actually win this fight. And I think KSI is going to crush Austin McBroom. I don't see Austin winning this fight over KSI at all. I think I don't know if he knows that he is gonna get crushed or not, or if he's just calling KSI out to get more clout around his name, I guess, as he would put it. Um, but I don't think he stands a chance really against KSI. KSI would destroy Austin McBroom in a boxing match, and I don't think it would be a first round knockout. I think it would be but I don't think it would win by a decision either. I think that he would probably end up knocking out Austin McBroom. It would probably be in like round 3 or 4, but I don't think Austin McBroom would be able to win against KSI. Like I said before, beating up Bryce Hall, like yeah, he may have looked good against Bryce Hall, but anybody could beat up Bryce Hall, so it's really not that impressive. KSI ended up looking good against Logan Paul, and Logan Paul is a way better fighter than Bryce Hall. It's way more impressive to fight him and win, and although he didn't win in a knockout the same way that Austin McBroom won against Bryce Hall, I mean he still beat Logan Paul, and it was still an impressive victory for KSI. So, even and since then it's been like I don't even know how long it's been. It's been at least a year. Maybe it's even been 2 years. I don't know if it's been that long yet, but it's been a while since KSI beat Logan Paul. He says that he's been training, and I'm gonna believe him on that one. So, he's probably improved since that fight. I just I feel like that version of KSI in the KSI versus Logan Paul rematch, I feel like that version of KSI would knock out this version, the current version of Austin McBroom. And since he's been training, since he's been, improving during all this time, I feel like Austin McBroom really doesn't stand a chance at all against KSI. So that's my official prediction before the fight even gets announced or confirmed or anything. I'm sure they're behind the scenes talking about it right now, but I mean, I'm predicting this fight before it's even been announced that KSI is going to win. And, if this isn't the next fight that KSI has, I mean, I feel like it would be either him or Jake Paul. I don't even know anyone else who would want to fight KSI unless he fights like a real boxer or something like that. But I don't see that happening because, as far as I know, all KSI wants to do is fight Jake Paul and knock him out. But yeah, so I think KSI is going to beat Austin McBroom. Then he's going to fight Jake Paul after that. Jake Paul is going to fight Tyron Woodley. Maybe Tyron knocks him out and then KSI doesn't end up fighting Jake Paul. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how things play out. Um, but yeah, that's my prediction right now for KSI versus Austin McBroom. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.